Greetings and welcome to episode 270 of the Words About Games podcast, the weekly news and culture discussion podcast for Words About Games. I'm your host, Amy Kate Alexander, joined this week by Daff Moody.
Howdly doodly do, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It is Friday. You know what that means.
And Foxes.
Hiya.
Hiya. I respect both of those intros. How's everybody doing today?
How about it all?
Friday.
Good week.
Right.
Been
Shooting
positive. Played some
bugs.
games. Had a little fun. Can't ask for much more.
Cool. Foxes?
Shooting some bugs, so can't complain.
Some bugs.
Yeah. Shot a lot of bugs.
So it's a buggy game, is what you're telling me.
It's a buggy game.
Yeah.
Yes and yes.
Take
Cool.
from that what you want.
I don't have any fun stories. Like last week, where it was like, I went out into the woods. My feet hurt. That was like last week's whole like, Amy's fun adventures. I haven't had any fun adventures this week. Just boring stuff. I watched some Doctor Who. I finished my vampire lesbian space necromancers book.
Sweet.
I still haven't recovered. The next one comes out in September. I might have recovered by then.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
That's it.
Hopefully. Glad you enjoyed your book.
I did. That's it. It's all done. I haven't even played any games. I'm slipping.
Well, you got a lot. You've got a few stacked up, so it's all right.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go crazy over it the next few days. I'm
And
ready.
then next week,
like an elastic band, that you just keep pulling it back and pulling it back up, and right now I'm in that pulling it back phase. Next week, Lake comes out, so
and the big con. I'm looking forward to that as well. But Lake.
I just got to figure out what I'm gonna play in what order, because like you say, I've got that stack now. I played Humankind. I did play that. We'll talk about that at the weekend. It takes ages to play a match of Humankind. I forgot, because I haven't played a 4X strategy game for so long. It takes so long to play from end to end of one match of a 4X strategy game where it just keeps going. I wasn't prepared.
You was not prepared.
Nah, I can't remember the last time I played a grand strategy game. That's why they call them grand strategy games.
Because they're grand?
Because they're grand. Apparently, because they're grand. They're all British, and they're grand.
I'm sure
they're British.
I'm terrible at them. I'm so glad they all have difficulty options.
I'm shit with grand strategy, 4X, grand world builder, like the civs and your kinds and all that.
The one I wanted to play more than
I'm just bad at
anything.
'em. Yeah.
Last year was Crusader Kings 3, because it sounded like so much. It sounded like if you drew a Venn diagram of all the different things about the game, my face is in the middle of the Venn diagram. With all the cool historical storylines and RPG aspects and stuff, but I couldn't even get through the tutorial. I was too confused. It was a really, really complex game, and I was just I remember I think we talked about it maybe because it was on Game Pass, and I just downloaded it, and it's a game I wanted to love, and I reckon if I could have figured out how to play it would have been a top 5 game.
Yeah.
But I was
It
just
got highly rated. All of us, both you and me, were like, God damn it. And you were saying, I had a choice. This.
I had a choice that or Total War.
Yeah.
And I picked Total War. I picked Crusader Kings, and at the last minute, I deleted it. I deleted my bid and picked Total War, and I've never been madder at myself.
Yeah, well, we don't even remember that. You were already won by.
I'd already won by then. But yeah, it's just if I could get through the tutorial, I reckon I'd fucking love that game. But I can't figure it out. It's too confused. It confuses me too much. I've had people offer to show me how to play the game. And I'm just like, I'm just useless. Like, I don't know.
I don't blame you. I feel useless all the time in those games.
Yeah, I also feel useless all the time.
No, you don't. You're awesome.
Thank you. I needed to hear that. Because that was one of those jokes that wasn't a joke. Mental health. Way. I'm looking forward to playing Psychonauts 2.
Yeah. That shit is just like Foxes. We undershot. We undershot so much for that game.
I'm gonna say it now because what I'll do is I'm gonna say what I was gonna say when we get to the OpenCritic bit, but I'll forget by then. Like when I picked my score, like I considered like everything everybody had been saying about Psychonauts 2 before the podcast. I went on OpenCritic and I went, cool, there's like the top rated games of 2021, there's like 7 of them or whatever, and they've all got 88. That's the number I'm picking. No game will break the 88 curse.
So what some game has though?
Yeah.
Buster Fellows or whatever it's called. I've never heard of this game.
Automate game.
But everywhere.
I said that with a bit too much disdain in my voice. I don't understand the game. I don't understand the franchise. I don't understand the genre. I just don't play them. I should probably. I'm just going to clarify that before I get like hordes of angry visual novel fans. I'm one of you. I love visual novels, but the thought of romancing a dude just makes me want to vomit all over all 3 of my monitors. Let's get into the podcast on that note. There's timestamps in the description below the video on YouTube. So you can click around and find all the cool stories and just watch the podcast any order you want. You can do the same thing on all your audio podcasts. We're on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and a few others that I've never even heard of. So go wild. Wherever you want to get your podcast, you get this podcast. That's it. That's all I've got to say. Podcast over. We're done.
See you later. Bye, guys. Adios.
So, he's actually gone. Cool. Oh, damn. You didn't give me a chance to make jokes and be like, oh, so Foxes, let's talk shit about Moody. So Foxes, let's talk shit about Moody. Well, let's say all the things we would never say to his face. He's a really great guy, isn't he? Like, just 10 out of 10. Just like the best.
I had the best time playing video games with him earlier today.
I have the best time whenever we hang out. It's like, I love all of our conversations. I love the energy. I love the mood he brings. Oh, he's back. Quick, stop talking. Nah, yeah, in moody shit.
When you were saying something, our Fox was just digging right into there with that itch. I was like, this is kind of looking wrong right now. Fox is like, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what the hell?
It's like, this should bring it back if it's not awkward enough.
Yeah, we could, I mean, you don't want to know how far we would have gone to make that awkward.
I can go again.
Nah, let's not. Let's talk about Gamescom, which is literally happening right this second. Because there's an awesome indies thing that's out on as we're recording this, and there's a future game show later today. So we can't talk about those because we're not time travelers, but we can talk about Opening Night Live and the Xbox Gamescom showcase. And we're going to put Opening Night Live at the top because then it flows the podcast better. We probably will rant about one thing that didn't happen at the Xbox showcase when we get to a specific bullet point in the Opening Night Live bullet points. Hey ho. I don't know if I'm going to read every single bullet point or just the ones that interest me, but if I skip over a game or a thing that you guys were like interested in or whatever, just let me know and I'll read the bullet point. But the first thing they showed was Saints Row.
No one's interested in that. Move on to the
I'm
next
interested in Saints Row. How dare you? I just said all those things about you. And now you're just like, oh, Amy's games suck.
Wow.
Saints Row's great.
That's debatable.
Not this one. I don't know anything about this one.
Played a bit of, like, I think 3, if I'm not mistaken. I think I played like couple hours of it. That's about the most like I've been exposed to like Saints Row. I actually don't have too much experience with it.
I've played all of them. Saints Row. Saints Row 3 was the one that got me into it. I went back and played 1 and 2, and I was like, they're cool, and I could see why people love them. Like, but for me, like, it was the let's take the piss and be really quirky and funny aspects of Saints Row 3 that got me into the series. So going back and playing the first two, which were a lot more grounded and a lot more serious, was like, I could see why people like these, but for me, it was 3 and 4. Like, 4 was ridiculous. Like, it shouldn't have worked, but it did. And then there was the standalone thing, Get Out of Hell, which was a musical, and you know how much I like musicals.
Was it really a musical?
It was a surprise secret musical. Yeah, it was really a musical.
Wow.
It was like a very small sort of like open world map, and you do all the Saints Row stuff. And there's the 2 characters, and you do like the story stuff. And when you do the story stuff, there's like they start singing, do your musical numbers. And I was like, this is the best 5-hour game I've ever played. The devil's just in there, just belting it out, and I'm just like, I'm here for this. But it seems like it's they're pulling it back a bit from that whole like the absurdity, right? Because like Saints Row 4 was an absurd game, and this seems a bit more
president, yeah.
You became president, but so you go on a mission, which is like a Metal Gear Solid parody, and then like you've got to disarm the nuclear missile, and as it's flying through the air and you're crawling up it, and Aerosmith's playing that one song from Armageddon.
Don't wanna meet.
And everyone's like telling you how cool you are, and then you disarm the bomb and you fall off the bomb and you land in the chair in the Oval Office, and then it flashes forward and you're the president, and then aliens invade. So they're bringing it back a little bit from that, and
it's not so Fast and the Furious franchise.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that, because I loved that shit. It was so dumb and so stupid, but like, I don't know, I thought it was funny. It looks interesting. It was just a CGI cinematic trailer, so you only really got sort of a glimpse of sort of like the setting and the characters and the general tone. Like, there's definitely still humor in it, but it's not it doesn't look as over the top. And hey, maybe I'll be proved wrong when the game comes out on February 25th, 2022.
Very surprised by the date. I don't know why. I thought it might come out later next year or something like that. But no, if they're ready to go, they're ready to go. I know they've like been very silent for a very long time.
Yeah, like Saints Row 4
was what, 5 years ago?
It was a long time ago. Get Out of Hell was I want to say 2016. So Saints Row 4 must have been like 2014, 2015, 2013. So it's been 8 years.
Almost 10 years.
Yeah, it's been like 8 years since.
It'll be 9 years by the time it comes out.
Damn. Doesn't feel like that's one of those games where I was like, I didn't feel like I played it 8 years ago.
Shout out to the game of the mixture of ethnic groups here. I think they've done a really good standout for them to give people a difference to like to play with and everything. So I thought that was a really good idea, a really canny thing, just to show where we're going and where we should be going and everything. So which is really, really good for everyone to have their type of person to play with and everything. So I really enjoyed. I think that's really, really canny and really, really cool. Like I was saying to our friend Joseph in his stream, 2022 is looking stupid.
Yep.
Looking stupid.
The first 3 months of 2022 alone look set to like end me.
It looks disgusting, and I love it and hate it all at once. But this what happens obviously because of a pandemic and everything gets pushed back and everything. But my God,
Yep.
Our wallets are not gonna like us next year.
Yeah, it's like, I need to buy all of these like miniatures and figurines and stuff now because all I'm going to be able to spend my money on in 2022 is all the video games ever.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Speaking of all the video games ever, we got our first look at Midnight Suns, which is the Marvel / Firaxis / 2K Games Marvel game. The amount of confusion that must have been when, what was it, the trailer started with Doctor Strange and then Captain Marvel showed up, and I'll bet a ton of people were like, wait, how many characters are they adding to Avengers?
I won't lie, like I thought Jeff Keighley got it wrong at the end when he said a brand new Marvel game, and I was thinking, and then it just started showing. I was like, wait, this looks like a Square Enix's Marvel Avengers game, and I went, oh wait, they don't have Doctor Strange. Wait,
yeah, they don't
have Wolverine.
Captain Marvel, is that Wolverine? Like
the MCU aren't even talking about bloody X-Men and everything.
Marvel's been forgetting the X-Men exist for years at this point.
Yeah, and it was just like. So yeah, I think it's funny that this is the first time you'll see the X-Men in a Marvel game that's owned by Disney. I will make sure I'm rephrasing those words properly.
Otherwise, I'm just going to push my glasses up my nose and I'm just going to go, well, what about Ultimate Alliance, Moody?
Yeah, and everything. But no, yeah, it just didn't tickle my fancy. But if anyone loves to look at this and everything, go for it. I think I'll champion that for anyone for everything. Because the Marvel games, apart from the Spider-Man games, haven't really worked for me. Like Avengers, I've never touched. Like everyone else was just like going for it, and like you gave it a go, and I was like, after it all came out and everything, I was just like, nope, I'm not touching this.
I played like 50 hours in like a week and a half.
Yeah, and this one just looks like. I don't even know actually what it is. Is it a fighting game or is it?
Well, this is the thing. There's a full gameplay reveal on September 1st, so next Wednesday. So we'll know more then. It's being made by Firaxis, who make XCOM. And
so it's an XCOM game.
Civilization, but I think it's probably going to skew more towards XCOM. So I think the gameplay is going to be closer to sort of like closer to a strategy game. I don't think it's going to be like an XCOM Marvel game. That wouldn't work with Marvel characters.
Yeah, because they all like going charging in head first.
Yeah.
You've got Captain Marvel just sitting in the background. You're thinking, wait, I could just fly through and just kill all these fools. I flew through Thanos' ship, guys.
But yeah, I wonder if it's like going to be some sort of like tactics game, like a Marvel style tactics game.
Possibly.
We'll find out next week. But we got a first look at it with Foxes. Halo.
Finally.
Halo Infinite, not the title of the game. That was just how long they made us wait for the release date. Oh, I'm so funny. Yeah, they finally showed Halo Infinite at opening night live, not the Xbox showcase. We'll get into that later on. There was like a weird narrative CG trailer for the multiplayer.
It was very all over the place when it came to this Halo thingy. I'll say this right now. That Elite controller looks sexy.
Oh my god!
And that console looks sexy.
Can I just say the only thought that, because we can't really talk about the game because they didn't show any of the game. Like they showed the CG story trailer, which was fine. It was whatever. And the release date's December 8th. We'll talk about that in a sec. Because when they showed the console, the Series X console, we're doing a limited edition, sexy-ass, Master Chief-inspired Halo console. The only thought that went through my head was, I don't own an Xbox Series console yet. Oh, no.
Yeah, well, I was looking like it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, but they both of them look sexy as hell. I won't lie. I'll give them that. It looks like a very sexy. Like, PlayStation 3, no, the 4 always had some sexy looking versions of consoles and everything looked beautiful. And Xbox always got crapped on when it came like for the other ones. They just say, oh, well, they don't look that great or anything like that. And no offense, I kind of agreed with them for me personally. I think they just didn't look the greatest for me. But this one was just like, that's a Master Chief console I wouldn't mind having my hands on. It was a good looking console, and the
was.
controller is sexy as hell. Even though apparently people are saying it'll break in like 6 months or whatever.
I mean, I can't really disagree. I had an Elite controller and it didn't last a great amount of time.
Mine still works. Just the grips have gone. They fell off.
But then again, wow. But then again, like people used to say, like the original DualShock 4's the rubber used to come off the analog sticks really easily, and I never had that happen to me in the entire time I owned a PS4. So
yeah,
I guess it's just one of those things where it's like, oh, sometimes it can just happen, and sometimes it can't.
True.
Some people don't experience Joy-Con drift. Crazy.
That's true.
Wild.
They are leaving it as late as they can to have it in 2021.
Oh yeah.
They are literally going to as late as they can, because the week after that is literally just before Christmas.
Yeah,
basically.
that week is like the cutoff point, like for game releases. But I think it's cool. Like I think people are going to be people who are interested in Halo who also play COD will have played a lot of COD by December 8th, and then everybody gets this nice like Halo run up to Christmas, because we've been talking about it, Mooney, like all of the game. We were just talking about the pile of games that we've all got piled up. Like Halo Infinite basically being like the last game that comes out in 2021 means that like I don't have to worry about what's coming out after it and think, oh, how do I divide up my time? I'm just like, I just play Halo all through Christmas.
Yeah,
with Foxes. Have we ever played Halo together?
I don't think you have.
No.
You've
played a lot of games together. We overwatched it for like a good That was literally a nightly thing at one point.
But I will just read and say, I hope they are not crunching for this. Like like I said, they're leaving it to the last, very end they can leave it to, and I'm hoping they are not crunching.
I don't think they are. We'll talk about that. We've got a news story coming up later in the show where we can talk a bit more about stuff like that. For Halo specifically, because obviously there's some stuff that's not coming out with the game. Instead, let's move on. We can probably start going a bit quicker now. So, Cult of the Lamb, a roguelite about building your own hellish cult as a cute little lamb.
This looks amazing.
It does look good, doesn't it?
It looks so good.
Looks like you're so evil. Like throwing bodies into a pit. Like clearly, like Cthulhu is like the god, the patron god of your of your cult. But yeah, it looked very cool. I liked it.
Now, see, when you decide to show off a brand new game and you actually want people to know what your game is like, this is what you fucking show them.
The game.
Like, when you officially reveal something and you're like, oh, hey, we want you to take a look at all like our like little storyline and our cool like CG characters or like whatever you got. And we're also going to give you like 10 seconds of gameplay so you can actually see what it's like. And then you can be like, ooh, gawk, hey, cool. I can talk about something about, hey, cool. Yeah. I'm kind of over it these days when you just show me something CG. I'm just like, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I can get hyped about something. Don't get me wrong. Like, especially if you're trying to sell me on something that's going to be like coming around in like 5 years. Like, cool. But
like,
for something, if it's something that we definitely know about, like, why hide? I don't
know if it's just hide or whether it's just like they don't like maybe they don't want to like show like the rough alpha build gameplay as like the first thing you see. Like announcement, like for me personally, like announcement trailers, like Saints Row, right? Which was all CG. Like that's cool, but like the next time I see Saints Row, I do want to see some of the game. Like Redfall. Sorry, back at E3, where it was like Redfall was a game that like was one of my. I think I said it was like one of my favorite like games of E3. Whereas it was all just like and you can figure out some stuff about the game by watching it. But like the next time I see Redfall, Microsoft and Bethesda, like you gotta show me the game.
It was one of those moments that like I like just like Redfall. Because I don't expect to see that game for a long while, them showing me something CG.
It's like Man in the Sierra, isn't it?
Is it really?
Yeah, it's not very far away.
Its release?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, so then they're playing it closer to the chest?
Summer 2022.
I don't know. I have a hard time these days really gravitating towards anything anymore these days, just because of the fact that, like, if you really don't want to show me what it looks like, then that's a sale you're not going to get from me on day one. Like, I'd rather wait to watch someone play it, and then I'll decide.
You'd rather wait until the episode of Fashionably Late Reviews comes out, where me and Moody sit down and discuss the game in detail with gameplay playing next to us. You were going to say something, and I cut you off, Moody.
That's the only thing I think I was a little more let down when it came to Saints Row. Is that, okay, the game's coming out in February. That's not far. You could have showed us something about the gameplay. I can understand they'll probably maybe show us further down the line. I think, and I know there's other things coming across in the next couple of months, and like this Game Awards and everything. But I'm just like, come on, you could have shown us something. You have the game. You're in beta at least by now, getting ready to. The game's practically ready. You're basically fine tuning like hell of the game and whatnot. I won't lie, I'll say right now, just because I know how the internet can be. I'm spitballing there. I do not know how this game actually is. I think for all we know, it gets delayed next year.
I look forward to playing Saints Row at its expected release date of September 2022.
But no, yeah, like if you pick this date, that means that tells us you're basically done. So, you should be. I'll rephrase that. But no, yeah. I agree with what Fox is saying. Like, just CG trailers are kind of getting really annoying. Like when we talked about the Midnight Suns, like, no idea about what that game was because the trailer didn't tell you.
At least with Midnight Suns, they said, look, we're doing a full gameplay reveal in 1 week. Like, you're going to get to see the game in a week. Yeah.
You get most of your eyes on Gamescom. No offense, I think people will forget about
the thing about Gamescom Open Night Live versus like them assuming doing their own thing is like Jeff Keighley's got 40 games to show, like, and he's got 15 minutes of fucking Death Stranding director's cut that he can't live without. So that's an hour and 45 minutes of 39 games. Like,
and that's a Jeff Keighley thing.
That's a Jeff Keighley thing.
Yeah.
That's just how these shows work. Like, sometimes you got to go with like we've only got a couple minutes to show. And game, we've got to do it this way.
I think it's a little bit of their problem as far as like
100%
and their publishers, because in all honesty, like I legitimately thought Midnight Suns was a fucking mobile game. Like when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is a mobile game, right? And everyone's just like, no, this is an actual Marvel game that's coming. I was like, then what is this fucking game? Like, I'm not even trying to get upset about it, but it was just kind of like one of those things that was just like, well, then what is it? Like, you haven't told me anything. All you're sitting here saying is just like, new Marvel game. It's called Midnight Suns. It's got a bunch of people in it. Okay, what is it? Like, you gonna dive more into the story? You're gonna dive more into the like what the gameplay is like? You're gonna dive like what each person can do? Like, if you're selling me that this is a another ARPG, sweet. You should come out to say that this is an ARPG. It's gonna play like this. Like blah blah blah. But if I don't even know what your game is, and I'm being led to believe that it's a fucking mobile game just because of like you already have one a Marvel mobile game, 2, you already have Marvel Avengers that they're still adding stuff for, and then now you have the new Galaxy, the
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy. Thank you. I was under the assumption that this was definitely not like a new big game, and they're like, no, it's new, it's big. It's like, I would have loved more of that. Then
we'll see more of
it. And I'll say it like this: Cult of Lamb it's the perfect trailer. You have a bit of a CGI thingy, then you throw in gameplay. They could have done that with Midnight Suns. They could have done that with Saints Row, and they are bigger. They have the bigger production. They have the bigger staff, more staff to be able to do this type of thing. So, like, yes, maybe we are a little like Saints Row. Yeah, well, I'll give it a go when it comes out. The Marvel game Midnight Sun, I'll give it a go when it comes out. But out of all these right now, I would say Cult of Lamb. That's the one I'm like, yes, give me that now, because you've shown me what this game is, and it looks amazing. So yeah.
Okay, but why are you putting me in the position to defend big corporations? You guys are the fucking worst. But let's just
because big corporations aren't learning from
big corporations suck.
Annoying.
Big corporations fucking suck. But here's another reason why you probably don't see a lot of gameplay from a lot of AAA games, like even months before release, because people on the internet are fucking suck just as much as some people on the internet suck just as much as corporations. Remember when everybody kicked off about puddles in Spider-Man? Remember every single fucking AAA game that they showed years in advance, months in advance, and then like they showed another in-game gameplay trailer from like a year later, 6 months later, or whatever, which didn't look quite as pretty because that's how game development works. And all you heard about for 6 months was they've downgraded the graphics. Oh my god, this game sucks. So like a reaction to this might just be, well, we'll just put out a CGI trailer. And yeah, I get it. Like it sucks to not like to because like we were just talking about Midnight Suns. Everybody's like, what kind of game is it? And I was like, I don't know, it might be an XCOM type game because it's made by the people who made XCOM. But like, I get that sucks, but also like, people on the internet be people on the internet.
Well, yeah, I mean, the easiest answer for that is that they're going to be shitty nonetheless because they're just shitty.
Yeah.
Oh, there's no doubt about there's the balance that you need to figure out here that all studios need to figure out. Like what you just said, like where a game has shown way too much, which one of them has not stopped doing all year, which is Far Cry 6. It's the only time I'm going to mention a Ubisoft game. But that is like constantly shown a ton of shit, all new, everything. And it's just like, well, guys, you don't need to play this game. They're basically showing you the story. So you're good.
I think I wasn't paying attention.
But there is a balance on that. You are spot on.
Yes.
Amy.
Sorry. I might have gotten a bit more animated than I intended there.
It's just because we forced you into a corner to defend the
Forced me
corporations.
into a corner and I don't like it. And now I need a shout. I don't want to ever be that person who's like, look, the big corporations might have a point here. Like, no, I'm burning from the inside.
She was punching herself inside her.
My soul is on fire. Speaking of small games from small developers, we'll keep going through the list. We got Midnight Fight Express from Humble Games. That was also at the Xbox thing. That's coming day one to Game Pass. It looks really cool. I really like the look of it. Yeah.
Looks really good. Looks like it literally, like it says, it looks like Hotline Miami, but just a more graphical, big up version of it, and it looks really, really cool.
Yeah, that's cool martial arts stuff.
Yeah.
Coming summer 2022. 2022 is going to end me. This is going to be my thing for the next like 18 months. 2022 is going to do me in. It's going to finish me off.
Kick the crap out of us.
It's going to kick the shit out of me. Next up, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. April O'Neil is going to be a playable character in the game.
I know people are really hyped about this, but when I saw the game, I was just like, nah.
I mean, I am. Me and Phil are going to play it. We played Streets of Rage 4. Like,
is this the
you played Streets of Rage 4 as well, didn't we? No, I played with Andy. And it broke on us. It just wouldn't continue. It kept breaking us.
No, we spent like an entire afternoon playing Streets of Rage 4.
It kept crashing on us, so we're just like, nah, we're done. Thank you.
That's why you need to play it on a superior platform like the PlayStation. Review code provided, I should probably mention.
Is this like the beat 'em up?
Yeah, it's like the old school Turtles game style beat 'em up thing. I love the April O'Neil's like. There was a moment in the trailer where she did like the mic drop attack, where she dropped the mic, and I was just like, yeah, yeah, all right. I see you. It's
cool for those who actually are looking forward to it. I know a few people who are, because they like grew up on it.
It's the paradoxical thing with me where it's like I don't like 2D side-scrolling beat 'em ups all that much, but like I have a friend who does really like those kind of games. And it's fun to play those games with him. Like I would have never played Streets of Rage 4 if he wasn't getting it, and we could play it together.
The only one I actually played was Carnage. It was the only one that I actually played and beat it. It's the Carnage, actually.
I remember on
that was just because I could play Venom.
Yeah, fair. That's a totally legitimate reason to do something. I'm going to speed through some of these because unless anyone has anything to say about the next sort of like maybe 3. Super Monkey Ball Ball Mania. It gets Persona 5's Morgana as paid DLC post-launch. Game's not out yet. Why am I seeing DLC adverts? Can we have the game first? Please? That'd be nice. Thanks. No? Okay. Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. got shown. It's now coming in 2022. Which
we already which was announced a while ago, wasn't it?
No, it was meant to come out last year, and then it got delayed to indefinitely.
This year. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I love the Lego games. Going back to play Star Wars, can't say nothing wrong with that. That's like I was like with Joseph in the stream, just hearing the music was just like.
I did like that, the trailer music, from the very first like new Star Wars trilogy trailer, because I remember watching that trailer on a bus, for the very first time. I was going to work. It was like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, I could wait until I'd finished work, got home, and then sit down and watch it on the big screen. But I know I'm not going to do that. I'm going to watch it now because I can watch it. And so at 6 o'clock in the morning, like I was crying because Star Wars was back. So when I heard that music, I like, as much as I'm not really bothered about Lego Star Wars games or like Lego games in general, but I heard the music and I was getting emotional at the music.
Yeah. God damn it, yeah.
And I love the way they bookended it with the thing from the last trailer for Rise of Skywalker, where she does the jump flip over the thing. But in Lego.
Yeah, it's badass. Yeah, I just love the comedic elements out of it. Yeah, the trailer's really canny. Yeah, and I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I think it could be a lot of fun to play. Amy, we could stream it.
Maybe we'll see. I don't play Lego games.
So
I don't. I mean, if I don't play Lego games, it's quite hard to play a Lego game. I'm going with that logic.
I played 1 through 3 back when it came out, actually. Like, Phantom Menace 2, Revenge of the Sith. Those are actually a lot of fun. I remember playing that with, I think I played it with, like, some of my family. I think it was my cousin or something.
Grievous was badass in that. General Grievous on that was awesome.
Yeah. Shame it wasn't badass in the film.
I think that was,
that's in Clone Wars.
That's fucking... And that's the saddest part. He's more badass on a video game and in an animated TV show. Yeah.
What, did you say you haven't seen Clone Wars, have you not?
No, I was agreeing with you.
Oh, I thought you said you haven't seen Clone Wars.
No, I've seen Clone Wars. Synced Off Planet. The note that I've got here, because I got all these notes from Imran Khan over at Fanbyte, says, I don't know what this is, and I'm going to be honest, I don't remember this. Does anyone remember this? Okay, cool.
So I just watched 5 minutes of it. It looks exactly like Scavengers. I'm gonna be complete. No, okay. It looks like it plays exactly like Scavengers, but I don't. The art style is very reminiscent of just like everyday new cool shit. Like in my personal opinion, it's just like, oh, let's add some spiky looking stuff to their armor and let's make some monsters and robotic kind of looking, and we go shoot them with shooty shoots and some guns. And I'm like,
okay, so it's just
like every other third person shooter right now, except for Aliens.
When was the last time I shot someone in a video game? It's been a while. Anyway,
Can you shoot me on Among Us?
No.
Sometimes there's a gun mechanic on
there.
There
is a gun sometimes, yeah.
So did you shoot me on that last time?
Yeah. Like I said to Keith after our last stream, you had to be an absolute psycho to win a match on the rules we had. The joke is funny because we both won. The Outlast Trials was shown off again. It's the multiplayer Outlast game.
Does not sound appealing, but I know Outlast has got a big fan base. So
how does that work? Isn't the goal just to survive?
Yeah, I don't know how it works. Guessing it's a series of trials.
So what's that murder game? What's that game?
It's not Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, that's
it's not that kind of multiplayer. It's not
PvP.
It's not PvP as far as I'm aware.
No, okay.
I'm curious. I love the first Outlast. Hated the second Outlast, but
that's what I've heard. A lot of people who like the first one just didn't really like the second one. And
it was bad. It was bad. I could dig out my old review. I think I've got it still on the website. But
I remember playing the first one, and actually someone enjoyed it. It seemed like it had somewhat of a follow-through story. The second one just seems so goddamn jumbled that it didn't even give a shit about what kind of story it was.
I didn't make it all the way through that game.
Yeah,
it was a gameplay problem, and it wasn't scary.
That hurts a horror game.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Dork, is it? I don't know how to pronounce this. Dorkev?
Doki V, you know.
So like,
Doki Doki Literature Club. Sorry.
God, no, God, thank God. Was shown off. It was quite a long trailer, and I'll tell you what, like, so like all those games where I've barely said much about any of them, right? Like I've just banged off like one after the other. Like this was what sort of like snapped me back into reality. It's like, oh, I'm watching the Gamescom thing. Wow, this looks really interesting. What's this? It looked pretty cool, I thought. I feel like I've sent my cause scrambling to figure out what this even is.
Not at all. Oh yeah, I remember that.
Okay, so this looks like a lot like, what was it? Mario Odyssey, where you just go to like a bunch of different places and you can do a bunch of different stuff. Is that what it was?
Like, it's not. So it's like a It was originally an MMO, now it's not an MMO. And it's like an open world action adventure game. It's like it's a bit Pokemon. In terms of like capturing
Pokemon? Do you catch Bulbasaurs and Charmanders?
Well, no, because that would be cease and desist territory. That's why it's a bit Pokemon.
I tell you what, in this trailer, they went nuts with the particle effects and the lighting graphics. Like actually in the water too. They just kind of went crazy with it.
Yeah,
the animation looks really good. There's no doubt about it. The visuals look really
There's a lot of different ways to get around the city, world, whatever it is. You know what I mean? Which I thought was interesting. So I was like watching them pedaling a bike, and then there was a jetpack involved at some point, and it was very colourful. And like I say, like if you imagine me just sitting here sort of watching Gamescom opening night live like this. Because, like, you know, when you've watched, like, 5 or 6 games in a row that you're not really interested in, like, your brain just starts to slide off the screen to just suddenly being like, oh, 30 seconds into this trailer just being like, wait, what? What? And I'm paying attention again.
I'm doing that right now because everything I'm watching, I'm like, what in the fuck? Like, I mean, it looks pretty and it looks really good and gorgeous. I don't know if I actually expect the game to exactly look like this, though. But, what? Like, this is nuts.
Well, maybe they shouldn't have shown a gameplay trailer if you don't expect it to get. Sorry, I'm trying to do a bit, but I can't get all the way.
You're not wrong because, like,
I know
this is the kind of levels of detail that like computers are gonna even have a fucking hard time running. Let alone having to see a console maybe trying to run this because like this vertical slice looks. The vertical slice looks nuts, to be honest with you.
It's probably a next gen game. Like, sorry, I'm Jeff. You always like next gen. It's like it's not next gen. It's current gen. These are probably going to be current gen. This is probably going to be a current gen game. I don't think this is going to be like, and it also runs on your Nintendo Switch for 10 seconds, and then your Nintendo Switch is going to burst into flames.
This game is insane. I don't understand what the hell's going on.
Maybe that's just my chaotic nature, but I'm into that. Also, Jurassic World Evolution 2 is coming out on November 9th. I'm really looking forward to this because I played the first game, but not very much, and I got overrun with other games. So this, I'm gonna make up for it this time because I'm gonna actually put some time into this because the first game was good.
Yeah, I look forward to playing this.
I'm really looking forward to it.
I've heard good things about the first one. I've watched people play the first one, and it looks like it was a lot of fun. It looked like it was one of the few like zoo builders that if I was to actually really get into, it looked like it could be actually fun. You know?
Yeah. I just want them to add and I'm sure this game's gonna be awesome, like either way. But my dream Jurassic Park game is this game, Jurassic World Evolution 2, where you build park. You get all the dinosaurs in it, and you do all the management stuff. But then, like, at a certain point, so many hours in, like, everything goes wrong like it does in the movie. And it's like a first-person survival game, and you've got to survive your own park.
So the very first movie, then? Just in a video game.
And then, like...
I would dig that, actually.
Yeah, and then it's like, it's your park, and you have to survive it in first person.
Other than Dino Crisis, what is a third-person horror... dino game. Why haven't we gotten that kind of game yet? Actually, that's the biggest question.
No idea.
Why haven't we got a horror dinosaur game?
Listen, developers, who have the Jurassic Park / World license, you can have that idea for free. I want to play that game.
Just
let me
give
build
me
a
a
park,
first-person survival game against.
and then let me survive that park.
It's surprising that we barely do see any dinosaur games of real significance or anything. Like the last ones, like that was like obviously Evolution, what but the sequel's coming out soon, and then obviously I've been like harping on like crazy for like, please give me a bloody Dino Crisis remake for God's sakes. That would be absolutely epic, especially. But this is the thing, dinosaur. It's a huge franchise. Jurassic Park is a huge effing franchise. The next film comes out next year, and people are again hyped for that. Hopefully, the pandemic will be done by then, and we might be able to go properly into cinemas and all hug and everything. But who knows? Yeah, it's
Nice hugs.
It's a crazy thing that you don't see that many dinosaur games out there. It's really bonkers to me.
The most recent one was Second Extinction. It's like a very hyped
Is that
up
out
action,
yet, or
like
is that
first
still in early
person. Yeah, I think
access?
that's out now.
Yeah. There wasn't that showed at the IGN's thing last year.
It was
And they
around a
opened shot
bit.
and they were
It
just
was
like,
around
oh,
a
good
bit.
God. Yeah.
It did
Yeah,
the
it's
rounds
like
because
an
it was like an
over-exaggerated
Xbox thing.
first-person action game, which I
Yeah,
mean, kind of
it's-
cool, but it's just you shooting a bunch of dinosaurs. Which, all right, if you're
It's in
into it,
early
that's cool. But
access.
like, oh, is it still okay?
Yeah, so we'll get more when it's like leading up to release. Well, that was one of those games where everybody kept trying to push it on me because like it was on podcasts and IGN and it was in an Xbox thing this one time, and I was just like, I'm not interested. Like, please stop trying to sell me this game. It just doesn't look like something I want to play.
It's really funny because I haven't had anyone like in person or talk to me like actually like, hey man, try this game out or whatever. I've had Steam and YouTube and I'm trying to figure out what other apps I have, but like all of them be like, hey, Second Instinct is on out and playable if you want to go try it. Well, not out, but early access. And I'm just
play.
like each time I saw it, I'm just like,
No.
I'd rather be scared by a dinosaur rather than shoot 1,000 bullets at it. I mean, sure, I like my shooty shoots, but nah, I'm good.
Yeah, my YouTube algorithm doesn't work like that because I watch exactly one video game channel on YouTube, which is No Clip.
Nice.
And that's it. That's all I watch on YouTube. Like, my YouTube watching habits are not video game related. So, like, I don't get that on the algorithm on YouTube. I get, like, political videos and history videos. And I watched a 2.5 hour Jenny Nicholson video about the Vampire Diaries.
Yes, she did. She did say that. Yeah.
It was amazing.
And she said it to me, and I was just like, yeah, I'll give it a look. I didn't have a look.
No. Like, I wonder how many people actually watch, like, 2.5 hour long.
It was
YouTube
2.5 hours long of a show that I never watched. So I was like, yeah, I've never touched it.
You don't even need to have watched the show. I never watched the show all the way through. Don't even remember where I got up to. Anyway, Blood Hunt Battle Royale tied Vampire the Masquerade's coming to early access on September 7th on Steam.
Yay?
Do you know what's bad? Do you want to hear something really bad?
Wait,
I
does this
am that
game come out before the sequel?
I am that desperate for a Vampire the Masquerade game that I might actually play this. I am that desperate. Do you realize the last Vampire the Masquerade game, apart from the visual novels, came out in 2004? I'm dying over here.
No, I didn't realize.
I'm not saying a damn thing.
Vampire the Masquerade is like one of my favorite things. No one will play the tabletop game with me.
I'd
And
play
there's
with
no
you. I
video
just don't own it.
games. Yeah, there's no video games. Like, I keep trying to get my D&D group to play something that's not D&D, but it's always D&D. Which is fine, I love D&D. But, like, there's other tabletop role-playing games out there we could be playing. That's all I'm saying. So I saw this trailer and I was like, it doesn't look appealing to me, but it's a Vampire the Masquerade game. Shit.
I watched someone play this like a couple of months ago, back when they let people try in like the beta version or whatnot. And if you were to tell me that this is, I mean, like, it's free to play, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I
Or is it
don't
not?
know.
If you were to tell me this is a free to play game, and
It
like,
is in fact free. That's what it says.
okay,
Shit.
then
Now I'm definitely gonna fuck.
then I'll shake my tail out a little bit. I'm like, maybe I'll give this like one round. I'll probably like try it with you or something like that if there's crossplay.
Oh well, it's only on early access is only on Steam, so I'm gonna.
Oh, okay. There you go. But for the most part, yeah, I wouldn't like actually bring my stick into the game. Like I would just, I would go like, oh yeah, this seems like it could be like a little fun.
Just need a
Maybe
good
kill a few
vampire
people,
game.
die, and then just be like, all right, I'm done. But we'll see. It
vampire
could surprise
game.
me for all I know, but
Please,
I doubt it.
Please, game industry. I need a good vampire game. I didn't like Vampire. Anyway, moving on. God damn it. Why'd you have to make me realize it was a free game? Park Beyond is coming out in 2022. It's a park builder from Bandai Namco. Published by a AAA publisher. Cool. And those are all our thoughts on it.
I'm actually kind of surprised by them. Actually.
So was I when I saw the publisher come up. I was like, oh, okay, that's weird. Like, park builders aren't a thing. Park builders are one of those things that AAA companies try to convince us we didn't like anymore. Even though we do. Because
especially Bandai Namco throwing their dice in the ring, too.
Yeah. Maybe they're just trying to diversify. Like, it's like Elden Ring is going to make all the money in January for them.
Actually, I
One
wonder...
of the Pokemon gamers.
It's not going to make all the money for Bandai Namco.
Oh.
True. I wonder if Bandai can actually use some
I
of
didn't
its
realize
properties
you meant
for
by
stuff
that.
like that. They can't? No?
What was that? Sorry, Foxes?
I was wondering if they could use some of their properties for stuff like that, for like park builders and whatnot.
That'd be cool.
Splash in a little bit of like
Dark Souls,
Power Rangers, or Dark Souls, or whatever. Like,
Can I make a Dark Souls theme park?
Yeah.
I'm in. Game of the Year 2022. Jet the Far Shore coming out October 5th. Don't know what this is, and I saw gameplay of it. I don't know what this game is.
I just watched gameplay of it.
It's one of those types of games, right? Where it's like you're gonna have to play it if you want to know what the fuck this game's all about. And you know what? That's cool.
There's like a few moments where you're like driving a spaceship, and then you're a wisp, and then you're people. I was like, what is this game? What am I? What am I doing?
Jet the Far Shore. You ever played Super Brothers? Sword and Sorcery. If you haven't, it's that kind of thing where it's like I was playing the game and I didn't even know what was going on. It was good though. I enjoyed it. Anyway, let's go to the big stuff, or one of the big ones. Horizon Forbidden West has officially been delayed to 2022. It's coming out on February 18th, and you can swim in it. There's going to be swimming. That's it. Swimming. That makes this a very terrifying proposition for someone who has a real problem with underwater levels in games, because now I'm looking at Horizon Forbidden West going, am I going to be able to play this all the way through? Shit.
So far they've already said no to like one of the first conventional things in video games is that every time you go into water you die. They're like, nah, we're going to give you a chance to die, but you'll at least be able to survive in the water. It's like, oh, thanks.
This is going to be underwater, and there's gonna be a robot dinosaur, like underwater dinosaur, and
it'll be like some robot croc or snake or something.
I'm just
like, yeah, it is. The body's showing you.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh, okay, that might be my tapping out point. Great, I love the first one. But I have a very specific issue, and that very specific issue might discount me finishing Horizon Forbidden West, which sucks. But I will think optimistically. I think I'm looking forward to it because I really like the first one. You muted yourself when I thought you were about to say something.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I was talking to Sophia, sorry.
Oh, okay.
I muted myself, so that's fine.
That's fine. Valheim's getting a content update called Hearth and Home on September 16th.
About time.
So long, Elf.
Yep. They were like, it's all about builders. What was it? there was two types of people that were going to love this content update. They were talking, and one of them was builders. And I was like, cool. So we're never playing a video game with Elf for at least another like 6 months.
Yeah. She won't be around for Among Us Saturdays.
She's not going to be
anymore.
around for Among Us. She's not going to be around for Phasmo. She's not going to be around for anything.
She's gone.
She's gone. Unless we want to play Valheim, we're not playing games with her for a while. And we keep forgetting, Moody, that we can actually play Valheim.
Well, one of us can.
One of us can. One of us can. But we actually have the ability. We just never played it.
I tried it. It was just like, I'm really confused. I don't know what's going on here. I'm out. Give me proper directions what to do. No. We're just going to drop you in there. I don't want to do that.
Technically, they tell you what to do, but they don't tell you how to do it.
Yes!
Love it.
I found that out after I installed the bug and I went, nope.
No, thank you. Seafood martial arts action games coming out on February 22nd.
I saw their new gameplay update and him also using a machete. I was like, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Violence. Jeff Keighley chose violence when he put this showcase together. Speaking of choosing violence, nah. You know what? We're 50 plus minutes into the podcast. We don't have time.
Good.
Nothing else happened at Gamescom opening night live. So let's talk about Xbox. There was a new Dying Light 2 trailer that showed off more of the game, and it comes out on December 7th.
Day before Halo.
Yeah. Be honest, if I was picking between those two games, there would be no contest. Not to say this looked fine. This looked fine. Like, Dying Light 2 is at that point where I've talked about this before with certain video games, where for me it's just like, you can show me all the new stuff that you want to show me, but I'm not going to take it in. At this point, I just need to play the game.
I'm at the point of where that... Sorry, Fox, you go, mate.
No, I was saying I completely agree. Like I played through Dying Light 1 3 times now in 3 different playstyles. Well, kind of 3 different playstyles. And like, it's obvious that I enjoy your game enough that like I can play it 3 times over. But at this point, now that I've seen everything that I've seen from Dying Light 2, and if you actually uphold on, okay, let me not finish that sentence because technically you can't even uphold on your own promises about all of your mechanics. If you uphold on a lot of the stuff that you have said that you will do, then I'll see it when it's actually out and it's actually in the game and I can play it. Like, I'll see it when I believe it.
Yeah, well, I think what hurts for me for this game is that it's like, this was meant to be out early last year. Like this, they had a definitive date and everything, and then it was coming up, and then boom, oh, we can't. We had to push it delayed until whenever it was for, wasn't it? And then they finally talked about sometime this year. And then shortly after that came out, or was before that came out, we had the report that we talked about, Amy, about them saying that the director or something's like being an absolute douche, basically, and which hasn't helped the situation about this game. So like, it's the same thing. Like, I'll say with what I said with Halo, is like they're leaving this game till as late as they can. If it gets pushed, I will not be surprised.
I don't see it getting pushed
like
now. I don't see it getting pushed now.
I can see Halo getting pushed if possible, but we'll see what happens.
Right, you've been banging that fucking Halo drum for fucking months. Oh, I can see this getting delayed. Oh, I can see this getting delayed. Moody, it's not getting delayed.
Amy, I'll say what I want. Get over it.
It's not getting delayed.
I don't care. I'm still gonna say it.
Look, right, I'm the video game delayer. If I say a video game is getting delayed, it's getting delayed. That's apparently my power. That's a superpower that I have.
I'm not wishing this, just so everyone knows it. The games are ready, bring them out. But then
both these games are coming out 2021
sometime.
I'm not surprised that they would release something close to something else, because like, where did they release it? October.
Yeah, it's the nature of video games these days. You can't release your game away from all other games. It's not possible anymore.
Nope, you have to. I mean, granted, it's not like they talk to each other to let each other know when they're releasing it, but it is one of those things that, like, once they pick a date, they never fucking back down. They're like, no, Like let's release alongside of it too.
No, we'll totally release Titanfall 2 within the space of 2 weeks of all of these other massive Titanic first-person shooters, because it doesn't matter. People will buy them. People will buy Titanfall 2 because they have an unlimited amount of disposable income.
If it was a good game, it would have sold well.
It was a better game than fucking Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, mate. Good game doesn't factor into it.
Oh,
It does a little bit.
Not really.
and it was a good game, and it is a good game. Except people
Moody's
can't
just being
fucking
Moody.
play it right now.
I'm just a hater.
He's
I'm
just a hater.
He hates on it for no reason.
I know, right?
No, I just didn't enjoy the game. I don't think it gets the hype. I don't think the hype was there for me when it came to the game. Like for me, like everyone who says the story was fantastic, I was thinking the story was bland and one note for me. The gameplay I thought was bland and one note.
I know. I've tried. I just don't. It's not.
What
worth
video
it.
games do you play, Moody?
Don't feed the trolls. He probably downloaded Titanfall 1 and was like, "Is this it? I'm playing the campaign, and there's and it's just a bunch of multiplayer matches."
One by accident.
I'm sorry. I just do the same thing over and over again. I just get
I'm
in the
just
same
playing-
match with these people.
I'm just playing
and they're
random
not telling me
matches.
anything except for like the dude over the head comp. Like I don't understand. Is this the lore that I'm supposed to be getting?
Everyone says
No,
this is a
unfortunately
good
not.
story, but
Yeah,
it's
just
just
never
30
watched-
seconds of dialogue at the end of a match. Like,
The Titanfall 2 I never clicked with it. Just wasn't a game
Titanfall
for me.
2 has the best single player campaign of a first person shooter, and I don't even remember how long. That's the final word on it. We've all said our opinions. Let's move on to talk about Flight Simulator. Joe Newman.
Battlefield 1 would argue against that.
Battlefield 1 can argue all at once, but I can't hear it because I'm not listening. Joe Newman, head of
I can't
Microsoft
hear
Flight
'cause I'm not
Simulator,
listening.
sits down to talk about big planes. I've listened to you talk about Titanfall 2 enough, okay? I don't need that kind of negativity in my life. Joe Newman, the head of Microsoft Flight Simulator, sits down and talk
Newman,
about
that's
big
a hell of a name.
planes. I watched this segment and it made me want to play Flight Simulator. A game I have no
Wait.
interest in, but it made me want to
So-
play it.
He's just saying he's bringing new.
So they're doing
country.
this new thing
Okay.
where it's like they're doing this new thing. So the
Or
world's
they're
going to get a
bringing-
lot more detailed, and like the new countries are like new airports, and they're bringing new planes, and there's going to be PvP with like air races. There's going to be all sorts of cool
Oh.
shit coming into it. Like there's a lot being added to Flight Simulator over the next sort of like 6 months. I'd even be shorter than that, but I was like, damn, I actually want to try this game. And now I can because it's on
people
Xbox.
play this.
Just fly planes around. I want to find my house. Be like, haha, there I am. And then realize I'm on stream and go, shit, now everyone knows where I live. Well, I fucked up. Time to move. What's next? Tons of indie games. There's like 10 humble games coming to Game Pass Day 1 in the future. Whenever they come out. So you got Archvale, Next Space Rebels, Midnight Fight Express, Dodgeball Academia, which is already out, Bushidin, Flynn, Son of Crimson, Unpacking, Signalis, which I believe was one of the Tribeca games. Unsighted, Chinatown Detective Agency, they're all coming to Game Pass on release day. Looks cool, like... It's one of those things where it's just like, we've teamed up with the publisher, like, these are the games, keep an eye out for them, because you'll see them somewhere down the line, because Xbox seems to do all of their showcases now where the only things they'll showcase are things coming out of Game Pass. And I'm here for it. Like their showcases at this point are basically showcases for Xbox Game Pass. Like Into the Pit, a roguelike first-person shooter, which is coming out on October 19th and is launching day 1 into Game Pass. Because we don't have enough roguelites in our lives. Apparently. Even I've forgotten what this game is. Oh, yeah, it's the one that looks like Doom, but you're a wizard.
Oh, okay.
That's the one. Yeah. It's,
Oh yeah, you use your hands.
Use your
Okay.
hands with magic.
Mhm.
I mean, the thing about this is, right, so like I talked about what, a dozen games that were at opening night live where I was like, I don't remember this. Like I don't, I'm not really into it, or whatever, you know. But like with a game like Into the Pit, it's coming out in Game Pass, so at some point I'm gonna see it in my Game Pass queue on the phone app or on the console, and I might just download it and give it a try. That's the power of Game Pass. I play games that I would never have played otherwise. I played Humankind. If I'd had to buy that, I never would have played it.
To be honest with you, I don't think I'd like necessarily picked up Chris Tales, but the fact that it's on Xbox Game Pass, I'm playing it and I'm trying it and I'm enjoying it. I'm thankful that it's on Xbox Game Pass. I mean, not because I wouldn't have not. Well, I didn't plan on buying it, but if Game Pass wasn't there for me to try it and play it, and maybe possibly buy it for like other platforms as well, I wouldn't have that experience with it. So, yeah, shout out to Game Pass for that.
Age of Empires.
Like that. That doesn't look that
you're on muted, Moody. I wonder if Moody's going to participate in this podcast at some point tonight. Age of Empires 4 was given a thing. It wasn't really anything to do with the game so much as it was like a really long segment about the historical videos that they made. So they partnered up with this company that like makes historical stuff for like documentaries and shows in the UK. And it was just showing you like how they made these videos. So like for everything that's in Age of Empires 4, there's like a video that you can watch, which is like a few minutes long. So the one that they showed at the Xbox showcase was like, it was like the history of the trebuchet and where the trebuchet came from and how the trebuchet works. And I was like, look, everybody knows I'm a nerd. This looks cool. That's all I'm gonna say. This looks fucking great. I get to play a cool strategy game and learn. I like both of those things. I am unapologetic in saying that this actually made me want to play Age of Empires 4 more. And anybody talking shit about it, fuck off. I'm a nerd and I love it. And you can deal with it.
Did they show off gameplay at the same time, or like before?
Probably. I don't remember. I just remember Trebuchet. I think there was a little bit of game with Age of Empires.
To be honest with you, I know this is like a lot of people's big hype game because they grew up with Age of Empires. I tried like an hour of it, and it was another one of those games that I was like, "Yep, not me." But I'm glad everybody enjoys it. And when Age of Empires, was it 2 and 3, when they brought them back, like I guess remastered or whatever, playable for like now, everybody went nuts and started playing Age of Empires again, and just kept. They were like, "Oh, I'm glad my childhood is back. I can continue playing this again."
I didn't realize how old Age of Empires 3 was till I googled it while I was watching this segment.
It's old as fuck. So that's what. So it's good on for the people who actually like, who've been looking forward to this for obviously a really long time, and finally they're getting it. So good on you.
Good on them. Okay, so cloud gaming is coming to Xbox consoles this holiday, which might sound weird till you realize what that actually means. What it means is Xbox One, like it's coming to all three consoles, One, S, and X, Series S and Series X. But what it actually means is people who have Xbox One consoles will be able to play Xbox games that are exclusive to the Xbox Series S and X via the cloud.
That's actually a pretty big
That
deal.
is a really good idea because I have my Xbox One X, but I can't play, for example, the Medium because it's only available on the Series consoles. But when this comes out, I'll be able to play the Medium on my Xbox One console. Same with, like, say in a few years when Fable comes out, that's undoubtedly going to be a current-gen console of perfect dark. Like, by then I'll probably have it at a Series console. Fingers crossed. But, like, even if I don't, I'll be able to play it on my Xbox One. And as I showed off a few weeks ago when I played Yakuza on my phone on the podcast, it's like it actually works really well.
Nice, good. That's actually that was going to be the one thing that I was going to say. I hope that they get that right, is because, like, well, I mean, let's be honest with you. I've tried a game on PS Now, and the latency on that was
so I've tried Stadia, which we don't talk about on this channel anymore because it was my most disliked video of all time. And I've used xCloud, Xbox Cloud Gaming, whatever they call it now. I've been playing it since the beta. I was one of the first in the first wave on my phone when they first did the beta. I've never had an issue. Like, I've rarely used it, to be fair. I've rarely used it. But when I have used it, it's worked pretty well. Like, on my phone signal, like my 4G at the time, playing Halo wasn't an option, right? Like, it's like playing Halo just wasn't an option on my phone with the controller and stuff. Like, it was on 4G, so it wasn't like it was perfect or anything. But like, I've played like Ori, I've played Streets of Rage, I've played Yakuza, like, and they've all been fine. So, like, and with the Xbox One, like in my setup, it's wired, so I wouldn't have a problem with like internet speeds or anything. So, I think it could work really well. There's a new Wasteland 3 expansion coming out called Cult of the Holy Detonation. Wasteland 3 is a fantastic game, and if you like RPGs, you should get it. Review code provided.
Play said fucking game.
I did get a review code provided for the base game, but like, I fucking loved it, and I think I'm gonna go back and play the expansions because I liked it a lot, and this looks cool.
I enjoyed what I could play, for the most part.
It's probably fixed by now.
Fortunately, it's not, because it's actually so. Little story time. I played like the first couple hours of this game, and Wasteland 3 is a really good fucking game. Actually, it's fun. There's a lot of variety. There's a lot of choice. There's so much different stuff. I don't know how to speak about this though. Just specifically before I get onto my story, I don't know how I feel about this, because that's kind of one of the reasons why I liked Wasteland, was because of its goofiness and its silliness. Like the fact that I can kill someone with a giant dildo was fucking amazing. And in the fact that I probably can't kill someone with a giant cross-shaped dildo in this probably isn't so as much as amazing.
I don't know. I mean, I watched the segment. It's both, right? So like, there's goofiness and silliness of Wasteland 3 still in there.
Oh, okay.
They're bringing in some like darker themes as well into the story of like the story of the cult in the game. Yeah, because Wasteland 3, like, I said it when we were talking about Game of the Year. When me and Moody were talking about Game of the Year, and I was saying like there's two specific like main story missions, like long main story missions in Wasteland 3. Both of them amazing. One of them because it was hilarious at all times, and another one because it was fucking gruesome, like, and really dark and really fucked up.
But my biggest issue with it was because I put it, like, I was playing it with a friend, and then somewhere along the line they decided to update it and okay, so long story short,
yes, please.
I was playing it with a friend. We stopped. I went to go try to play it again. What I didn't realize is that for their CD trailers, like, you know, like their, well, kind of CD trailers, they use a third-party video player that you have to actually use through Windows. That if you don't have said third-party video player, and if you can't get third-party video player, guess what you can't do? You can't play the fucking game. So guess what I can't do anymore? I can't play the fucking game.
Oh man, it sounds like PC gaming is just not worth it.
No, it very much is, but very, very few developers who do this should know better and should use their own in-game engine to render their CG videos. They shouldn't have to use a third-party video player at all. Most don't, actually. They're one of the few who did, and I was like, why should I have to download a third-party app when I can't even get that third-party app anymore?
I know, right? It's almost like, why even bother playing the game on PC? Just play it on Xbox.
It's not worth not going through that fucking hassle. Especially not trying to get friends who actually play it.
The hassle of being able to play the game? Oh, I'm on fire.
Not by myself. Definitely not by myself.
I'll play it with.
Not worth.
So, what else we got? Stray Blade was a new game, third-person action fantasy game coming in 2022. Psychonauts 2 got a release trailer. It came out like almost instantly. And The Gunk, which didn't get a release date, but did get it's coming to Game Pass on release. It's coming in December apparently, and it's coming in the Game Pass on day one.
They're still doing stuff for this game?
The Gunk, it hasn't come out And then we got to see the Forza Horizon controller. And then we got to see the Forza Horizon 5, the game.
Oh, I thought you were talking about State of Decay 2. Sorry.
No. I skipped State of Decay 2.
Okay.
Because we're quite far into this podcast with a lot still to talk about, so I skipped a few things. But yes, they are. And State of Decay 2 is an underrated game. Fight me, but fight me later. We got to see the opening of Forza Horizon 5. This game looks fucking beautiful. Holy shit. You can drive in a volcano. I take back everything I said about the Mexico saying, because I was disappointed that we didn't get the Japan. Because like I've seen lots of different parts of this game now, and it looks amazing, and I want it now. Give it to me now. Can someone just leak it to me specifically? Just me. I promise I won't tell anyone that I'm playing it. No one. Damn.
I'll probably try it out, to be honest with you. I've tried out the other ones.
I have played the shit out of all of them, and I'm not even a driving game person.
The last one, I put a few hours in, and I just put it down.
It was in Britain, so I felt obligated to like see all the places and be like, oh, I've been here. Driving through Edinburgh going, oh, I was literally, actually, if I remember rightly, I'd just been to Edinburgh. And then I played Forza Horizon 5. I was like, oh, shit. I was sitting over there eating hot dogs like 3 weeks ago. Oh, shit, I should really be looking at the road. Any thoughts on Forza Horizon? Maybe?
No, never watched the conference, so I don't think it's fair for me to comment on any of it.
Not excited for the game in any way?
Yeah, I'll play it when it comes out.
Cool.
So I haven't spoken much for the Xbox thing. No, I watched it, so I didn't watch it, so it's unfair of me to comment on it.
I mean, you know, you can still say you like things. That's fine.
I like things.
State of Decay 2 is still getting worked on.
We haven't got time. State of Decay 2 is an underrated because it's a good game.
No,
It's got some good stuff in it.
Right, we don't have time for this fight, okay? Like, as much as I will take you both on this fight.
Titanfall 2 is a good game if State of Decay 2 is a good game.
Titanfall 2 is an amazing game. We don't have time for these fights, guys. This was supposed to be the positivity section. Stop crapping on things that I like.
I will say one thing. I'm genuinely surprised that game did not become like infinitely better than 1. 1 was actually somewhat good, but the fact that it was still the exact same game in 2.
What part of we don't have time for this fight didn't translate? Am I speaking Russian right now?
Like Xbox just threw the game out just to die.
I'm going to throw you out to die in a minute.
By the way, that multiplayer was atrocious.
Oh my fucking god. We do not... You know what?
It
Do
just
whatever
kept
you want.
breaking all the time.
I remember I had a friend actually convinced me that it was somewhat a good game, and then I got my hands on it in the first 10 minutes, and then I realized I was like, oh dear God.
Oh, sorry, we're not going to spend the entire rest of the podcast just trashing on the game.
Oh wait, when I go to go grab this stupid thing from my fucking village over here, it doesn't do anything for you too, because it doesn't matter about anything that we do together.
Oh, I can only put 2 bags in my car? What the hell? It's a car! I can put the shit on top of each other.
You mean there's no progression in fucking multiplayer? Why?
You know what?
Just go play it.
Aliens Fireteam Elite is a shit game.
You haven't even played it. You don't even know.
Yeah.
I like
are we gonna do this? Are we really gonna?
We've all played State of Decay 2.
Are we really gonna have this fight? Are we really just gonna spend the next 40 fucking minutes fighting each other because we don't like the things that other people like? Or can we just get on with the fucking podcast? Is that a thing? Because if that's not a thing, I'm going. One more word.
I'd rather talk about this than this next part that we're going to talk about.
Amy, come back. Oh, what have you done? What have we done? We broke her.
I was saying, don't just lump me into this.
We broke her. What's she doing? Is she on her phone now? Well, ladies and gentlemen, Megan Foxes have broken Amy. It was going to happen eventually. 2 straight cis men were going to break her eventually. It was always going to happen. We apologize for that. We love her the bits. But State of Decay 2 is a terrible game. But see, she's come back now. And we're going to now talk about Halo Infinite again, ladies and gentlemen.
Have you children
we're
fucking decided to calm down? I've got other games that I really like. Would you like to shit all over them too?
That's
See,
pretty
these
much
suck. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm so mad at it, I'm going pee. And I can't believe I added a new story into this podcast for you after all that shenanigans, Moody. Oh, can we talk about this? Probably not now.
Let's skip this Halo one. We've already talked about Halo, so let's skip that one.
We're going to have to skip a fucking lot. Oh,
yeah,
I'm so angry right now.
You shouldn't put so much in.
You shouldn't put so much in. Maybe you should fucking stop spending 20 fucking minutes.
You do realize we're slandering the shit out of the video game and not you. You know that, right?
Well, tough. I don't care. Like, I just want to move on to talk about the things I want to talk about. You're slandering the game, but I didn't ask. I didn't ask for your opinion. Like, Moody has said
because they want to
nothing to
continue
me
working on a
but
shit game.
bollocks for the last fucking 3 years about Titanfall 2, and at no point did I ever ask. So when you say
you did come up though.
So when you say we're not slandering the game, we're slandering the game, not you. I didn't. I start taking it personally after a while. I'm not gonna lie.
When it comes to Titanfall 2, when
see what I mean?
9 times after, let me finish. Can you let me finish first? Let me finish.
You've had 3 years. I've been listening for 3 years.
For bringing up State of Decay 2 and doing something new with it. I blame the news, not you.
I skipped State of Decay 2.
But it was there. I saw it, and they decided to do something stupid again.
Titanfall when I always joke when I say Titanfall 2 sucks. It just didn't work for me. I love and celebrate that Amy loves it, and that a good friend of ours, Keith, loves it, and that Foxes loves it, and anyone else who plays it who loves it. It's just a reaction when I hear like people say, "Oh, that's a great game." I say, "Is it?"
Yes.
It's just a reaction from me because
you can't ask us if it isn't to you though.
But it's just a reaction. That's all it is from me. I just go, is it really? Like the thing. I apologize for my reactionariness, and I will try. I can't guarantee it. We'll try and cut it back.
You better hope State of Decay 2 is not in the rest of this news.
This is my point, though. Not me. See, this is my point, though. This is why I've become irrationally angry when we talk about Halo, because I put up with, for like 6 months, I couldn't say the word Halo without hearing the same 2 things from the same 2 people over and over again. Like, when Moody didn't do it, there'd be a comment from the other person in the YouTube video. And I'm like just trying to be happy about video. I'm just trying to be happy about video games, but I seems to every time I open my mouth about certain video games or skip them.
Amy, welcome to my world. Every game that I love gets shit on.
I will literally never. If you say to me, unless we're doing a review or we're doing a fucking list or a game of the year thing, if you say to me, apart from in those situations, if you say I really love this game, I'll go cool. That's awesome.
Okay, Amy. I will from now often say, Amy, you love Titanfall 2. That is cool.
It is cool.
It is cool.
Booty, you love a game. I don't know. I can't think of one right now that I don't like. But whatever it is, it's cool. You don't need to hear me tell you that I don't like it.
But you know I do it in jest. I don't mean it as a nasty thing. I do it.
Everybody does it a lot. Okay.
I do apologize for that.
And maybe I'm just getting touchy.
A rational conversation where we didn't fall out.
No, we're never gonna fall out over this.
Even though Amy had to leave for 2 seconds.
I had to pee. I had to pee, so I made it a whole thing. It's fine. I didn't actually storm off. I just went to the toilet.
Well, you should keep in the thing that I said when you left.
I'm not taking out anything from
Oh,
this.
cool.
Like, I don't like this podcast has devolved into such chaos. Like, we've got time for like maybe 2 more things, and we've got like 10 to talk about. Anyway, EA is opening the patents for some of its accessibility tech. This is from Kate Sanchez over at The Verge, who writes, Electronic Arts is pledging to open the patents for some of its accessibility-related tech, including the much-celebrated Apex Legends ping system, the company announced today. EA says it won't file infringement lawsuits against people or companies for using tech that falls under patents listed in the pledge. The ping system in Apex Legends, which allows people to play the team-based game without hearing or speaking, has been praised both as an impressive alternative to voice chat and as a great accessibility feature for players with a variety of disabilities. A patent that covers the system was issued the same day as EA's announcement of the pledge. Along with the ping system patent, EA is opening patents for the tech it uses in Madden and FIFA to make them more accessible for people with color blindness and low vision. The tech includes automated systems for improving visibility by detecting and modifying colors and contrast ratios. The pledge also includes a patent for personalized sound technology that will modify or create music for people based on their listening preferences and level of hearing, though EA says this tech hasn't been developed yet. In addition to opening some of its patents, EA is open sourcing code that helps address issues with brightness, contrast, and color blindness in digital content. The code is published on EA's GitHub under the Apache 2.0 license, so developers can use or adapt it for their own games. Quote, "We hope developers will make the most of these patents and encourage those who have the resources, innovation, and creativity to do so. We hope developers will make the most of these patents and encourage those who have the resources, innovation, and creativity to do so, as we have by making their own pledges that put accessibility first. We welcome collaboration with others on how we move the industry forward together," end quote. EA doesn't have plans to help other developers implement its tech beyond sharing the patents. Quote, "We absolutely respect individual developers and their own expertise in determining how to use our accessibility inventions in a way that works with their software," end quote. The company says it plans to add patents for future accessibility-related tech to the pledge, as well as open sourcing more of its tech.
This is good.
This is good.
This is good.
Yeah,
so I said when I shared it in our chat, this is a good little thing here. Yeah, a nice simple thing just to say, yo, Activision are doing stupid things and being annoying and being terrible people, and we can just come in here and just say something. Yeah. We're doing good things over here, guys. Here we go. But either way, yeah, Sly or not, I don't care. This is a good little thing. Accessibility is an incredible thing that needs to be championed for all games out there, for anybody to be able to play any type of game.
Yeah, like I'm on record as like having expressed thousands upon thousands of words of how amazing the ping system is for a variety. I made a video about just the ping system in Apex Legends. Like it's fucking amazing. Like even for me, like I don't need the accessibility options that it provides, but just like it lets me play a multiplayer game. Like even if none of you guys are around and I feel like playing it, I can play it because I can just ping things and not feel like I'm just wasting everyone's time by being there. Like, and I'm not using voice chat because oh god, no.
Yeah, we had main foxes had a couple of people wasting our time in Aliens who just annoying us, especially me.
But like, yeah, no, it's cool. Like, this is how it should work. Like, not just with accessibility related technology, but just like in general. Like, if someone makes something cool, some new cool mechanic or whatever, like it should be allowed to be iterated upon. Because then they'll just want to make it better. I'm looking at you, Warner Brothers, with your Nemesis system. That was amazing and will never be in any other games because you fucking patented it.
I'm trying to remember, actually. Whenever Apex actually first came out, and I praised the ping system, and there was a game, I'm pretty sure it was another first-person shooter. I don't remember what it was that, used something kind of somewhat similar. Not as in-depth, because it's still one of the only games that has such an in-depth ping system that... when I heard other games were actually like, using it and or like, copying it, I was like, good, because that's a function and a feature in video games that should become a fucking staple at this point. Like,
it should be in
amazing.
It should just be in all multiplayer games.
When a game doesn't have a ping system these days, I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, no offense, but give it the times. Like, I realize that's really kind of like, one-sided of me, but we are in this day and age that like using information through the game to help your other teammates that you don't necessarily want to talk in the mic to, you know, I think it's well worth your time developing and making. Like there's not a very advanced ping system in Aliens, but there is a ping system. And when Moody was, you know, when I would find something that Moody didn't see, I'd ping it, and you know, he'd be like, "Oh, cool, I didn't even see that." You know, you'll grab it or whatever. But I mean, the fact that more games could use not only that, but also the accessibility to like, you know, for either different colors, brightness, you know, whatnot. All really, really good ideas, and good on EA for actually being like, "Hey, we're gonna play along. We're gonna get with the ball." It's like, okay, EA, I'll give you a little bit of credit this time. I'm not gonna give you credit because you fucking asked for it, but I'm gonna give you credit this time because you actually did something good.
See, that's how that works. Yeah, you come out and you say, "Well, I don't think we get enough credit for this," and yeah, it's probably because you don't deserve it. But if you don't, you know, you just do a thing, and we can just go, "Yeah, all right." Credit where credit's due.
Actions speak louder than words.
Credit where credit's due. This is cool. And I'm glad we got to take the piss out of them while also saying that.
Yeah, for God's sakes, of course we're going to still take the piss out of them.
Activision Blizzard lawsuit expanded to include contractors, claims publishers shredded documents. This is from James Batchelor over at GamesIndustry.biz, who writes, "The state of California has expanded its lawsuit against Call of Duty publisher Activision Blizzard, now stating the suit is also on behalf of the company's contractors and claiming the firm interfered with its 2-year investigation. Axios reports the state's Department of Fair Employment and Housing filed an amended complaint on Monday, redefining the group it represents to include temporary workers in addition to the female full-time staff it previously stated. The language throughout the complaint has also been altered, changing employees to workers, and specifically mentions anti-harassment, equal pay, and other equal employment protections that exist, quote, for employees and contingent or temporary workers, end quote. Axios' Stephen Totillo also shared a section of the court document via Twitter in which the DFEH adds a new cause for action around Activision Blizzard's alleged failure to maintain and produce records. After stating various laws that dictate what records and documents companies should keep, the DFEH claims it issued a document retention notice to Activision Blizzard as soon as it filed the original complaint. The notice notified the firm of its obligation to, quote, not destroy, conceal, or alter any documents or data relevant to the case, end quote. The DFEH notes that Activision Blizzard's response was the public announcement of its decision to call in law firm Wilmer Hale for an internal review, a decision that has since been criticized by a group of Activision Blizzard employees protesting against the company's handling of the case. By telling employees to speak confidentially to Wilmer Hale, the DFEH claims Activision Blizzard has, quote, directly interfered, end quote, with its ability to investigate, prosecute, and remedy the violations cited in its suit. It adds, during its investigation, Activision Blizzard, quote, refused to produce documents regarding complaints and investigations of discrimination and harassment by asserting that they did not exist or that they were privileged and confidential because attorneys were involved in the receipt of complaints and the investigation, end quote. The DFEH also says it has been informed and is aware that documents and records have not been maintained as required by law and alleges that some have been, quote, shredded by human resource personnel, end quote. Activision Blizzard issued a statement on the matter to IGN in which it claims, quote, compiled with every proper request, end quote, complied with every proper request, end quote, throughout its work with the DFEH over its 2-year investigation and denies shredding documents. Quote, with regards to claims that we have destroyed information by shredding documents, those claims are not true, the company said. We took appropriate steps to preserve information relevant to the DFEH investigation, end quote. And a big old shredding party, allegedly. Next year's Call of Duty has already been leaked. It's going to be called Call of Duty Shredded Evidence. I got loads of these. I can go all night. But I'll let someone else talk.
Oh, Activision being Activision as always and everything, and just being an absolute terrible company. Yeah. That's all I can say.
Not us, mate.
We've said so much about Activision Blizzard, for God's sakes, where how many times we can literally say they're a terrible company, and we'll keep on saying it because they are, and we'll not avoid the reports and everything, and we'll talk about them. But damn, just damn.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll try and talk over the sound of the shredders running 24/7 in the HR department at Activision Blizzard, allegedly.
You did say you can go all day, I mean.
I
All
could.
night.
I could because, like, they're allegedly shredding documents now, or have been, like, all along.
So what? They're just hoping. Oh yeah, it's just gonna end up being he said, she said.
No, what's going to happen is, like, if the DFEH manages to prove that they've been shredding documents, they'll get fined. And
No, exactly.
what Activision Blizzard or WilmerHale have worked out is that the fine will be less than whatever they would have had to pay had DFEH been able to see the documents that they've allegedly shredded.
Which doesn't make sense.
No, it makes perfect sense. They pay less.
I mean, and to them, yes, I agree. But if they've shown, if the evidence comes out shows that they have shredded evidence, then the fine should really go up for me. But because for whatever laws it is, I'm guessing in America and everything, that's how it is, and that's how they've come to this type of conclusion and whatnot. Just Activision being Activision, just being the terrible company that they is.
Yeah, it's like
they got Wilhelm in, who are literally the union busters, basically.
Yeah. It's like if you imagine, like, this is how much Activision Blizzard's lawyers have said, like, they've looked through all the evidence, right?
Hell yeah.
That Activision Blizzard has been holding. And again, this is all alleged. I'm just going to put that out there right now as I talk about this. But, like, they'll have looked through all that evidence and they'll have gone, cool, this is what's going to happen if all of this evidence comes out. Like, this is, like, imagine, like, all of the fines and everything else. This is the bar. Like, but if some of that evidence disappeared, we'd get fined, but maybe this is the level to which one would you rather pay? Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick? Well, I'd rather pay the less one. Cool. Then get the shredders out.
Yeah, completely. Spot on. Allegedly, we have to repeat
spot on. So, like, yeah, it's like anything anyone wants to say about Activision Blizzard being like, oh, well, they've fired a few people and they're talking about how they want to do better. They don't want to do better.
Not
at all.
Let's just say, hey, yeah, no, I mean, we haven't been doing anything at all. Like I said, he said, she said, and then, try to act like we can cover our own ass by not doing something that would be technically illegal and still being able to just do it.
I mean, they're talking to the press constantly, like, as we've just seen, because they provided a quote to IGN to deny shredding documents because they have to deny shredding the documents, but they're not talking to their employees. But everything is fine.
I'm actually getting sick of this shit. Actually, like, literally to my stomach.
You're moody when you first joined the podcast.
and not because we're talking about it. It's just because that, like what the DFEH or some other company or whatever it may be just couldn't go digging and being like, you tore all this up.
Unfortunately, the DFEH is a government regulated body, which means they actually have to obey the law, unlike Activision Blizzard, who can just do whatever the fuck they want and get fined for it, allegedly. Because they make billions of dollars a year from Call of Duty. So they can just pay their way out of trouble. And that's the system we live in. But it's fine.
Hey, Vanguard trailer's out!
But it's fine because Overwatch is renaming McCree. Big thanks to Keith for the message as we were recording this podcast. Everything's fine now. McCree is getting his name changed.
Oh yeah, he's trying to.
Yep. Keith sent me a message saying, why are they changing McCree's name? And I was like, are you sure you've been watching the podcast for the last few weeks? Because you say you have, but... I'm kidding. I love you.
Because this matters most.
Yeah, because people can point to. Because people will point to it. There will be a lot of people out there who point at that and go, see, they're doing things. Everything's fine. Over the sound of shredders, allegedly.
It's easier to change a name than it is to actually change your ways.
It's actually surprisingly easy to change your name. Trust me.
Yeah.
A little trans joke for you there. Let's do this one. I saw this on Twitter, and this was cool. and I didn't realize they'd been doing it. So I want to do this while I'll read it, and I'll just say while they're doing this, I want to put it in the podcast. So, a better Ubisoft, a Twitter account run by former and current Ubisoft employees demanding real and permanent change, have been posting reasons given by employees who signed the open letter to Ubisoft management in solidarity with Activision Blizzard employees to demand action from management to end abuse in Ubisoft and the wider industry. So, like, every day, they're putting a better Ubisoft Twitter account has been putting out one quote on an image saying, This is why I signed this letter. And I looked at these quotes and I was like, cool. I think we should read these quotes. We don't have to talk about them or dissect them or anything like that. I just want to put them out there. So I'm going to do that. Number 1. At the end of our listening session with our newly hired managing director, they told us that they would not take action because they were not there to see firsthand the abuse. Number 2. An abuser clearly stated that what was in some articles was partly true, apologized, and continued with, now that it's done, let's forget and look at the future. They've since been promoted. Number 3. A manager named in my complaint has not only gone unpunished, but has since been promoted into a brand new role. There was no selection process, no interviews, and no alternative candidates. Number 4, the abuser investigated at my studio was allowed to quietly step down without even an internal acknowledgement of the suffering caused over several years. Number 5, I heard every announcement, attended every workshop, saw every talk and gesture, and attempted at appeasement for more than a year, and I need them to know it's not nearly enough. Number 6, my complaint to Edoko was badly mishandled. My testimony was rewritten and weakened by the investigator without my permission. And the last one, devs are leaving the Ubi Toronto studio en masse. There has still been zero accountability or apologies from the Toronto HR team that let this abuse run rampant under their watch. So again, those are the people that signed, the employees at Ubisoft, or the former employees of Ubisoft, have signed this letter, and some of them have given their reasons for doing so, and that's what those are.
And I believe it's like 28 or 29 days since they haven't spoken to them.
Yeah.
Or since they posted sent the letter. And they still haven't spoken to them that I know of, or anything like that. So they might have, and they haven't said anything yet, but I think they would have said something if they had spoken to them. So it's like 28 or 29 days now. So Ubisoft, you suck, and you need to start getting your finger out your ass and fire that guy who's called the CEO.
And a few others. This is the thing, right? It's just like, this was a year, more than a year ago when this first happened. Yeah. And these statements are from the last week. Not the last year. These statements didn't come from testimonies a year ago when all of this news story broke. These statements have come with like a year and change between the stories breaking and Ubisoft saying we're gonna do better. Like, this is what happens when you let them off the hook, which is what happened. Let's just be completely frank and realistic here. Ubisoft got let off the hook. And this is the result. There was minimal change. I wouldn't say there was no change. They probably did some talk and stuff, like it says in one of the quotes, but there was no real change. The only change that I can seem to identify from these 7 quotes is the abusers got promoted. That's what it says right here. Twice. In 2 separate things, abusers got promoted to new roles. But hey ho. At least the independent investigator that everybody put lots of stock into rewrote testimonies to be weakened.
I don't know what kind of laws that they fucking have over there, but that kind of shit will get your career and your whole entire family put under. And I'm not talking about in a dead or murderous way. I'm talking about like all of your money gone, all of your savings, your investings, everything that you ever had would just get ripped out from underneath you if it was from over here. But the fact that it could just go unhandled.
The thing is, Ubisoft wanted an external investigator to say everything was fine, or like, you know, more or less fine. Like, so that they could say, well, we had these guys check and we've done all the things that they said. And shock horror, they didn't find everything because, as I said last week on an unrelated news story, you can't find what you're not looking for. You can't find what somebody else hides behind the sofa, apparently. Let's go. We got more. Twitch streamers organize a day off Twitch in protest of hate raids. This is from Vicky Blake over at Eurogamer, who writes, content creators on Twitch are planning a one-day strike to force the streaming service to better support marginalized streamers who are doxxed or attacked whilst working. Using the hashtag #ADayOffTwitch, the protesters hope that by refusing to log on and create or even spectate Twitch streams on 1st of September, it'll hit the company's purse and compel it to listen and better support the creators who suffer regularly from hate raids and organised attacks. The idea for the boycott comes from Wreck-It Raven, Lucia Everblack, and ShinyPen, and together they're trying to convince other Twitch streamers and viewers to do the same. Quote, we've seen a lot of conversation about botting, hate raids, and other forms of harassment targeting marginalised creators, the company recently said in a thread on Twitter. You're asking us to do better, and we know we need to do more to address these issues. That includes an open and ongoing dialogue about creator safety, end quote. It also admitted there was a vulnerability in our proactive filters and promised to keep updating this to address emerging issues.
I saw this firsthand.
I saw this firsthand. In fact, I saw this very firsthand because we didn't get hate raided on Saturday when we were playing Among Us. We got botted.
IP streamers that I saw got botted.
Yeah, we got IP bots following us while we were playing Among Us. Sorry, Foxes, you gone.
No, you're good. Thousands and thousands of names just reposting the exact same thing. You could tell it was all like bots and all bot created names and stuff like that. And it was a raid or hate raid, or, well, not necessarily hate raided, but bot raided. I have seen hate raids too, and those have been getting even worse as of late. To actually very even small time streamers. Well, okay,
Big
I would say completely small.
No, they're everywhere
but,
now.
Yeah, it's everywhere. Yeah. I mean, not only has this been something that they should have been, on top of for like the longest time, because a few years ago, bots were doing the same thing. They weren't posting exactly what they're posting right now, but they were still being bot rated and just having random shit pop up in their chat, and they couldn't do anything. They just have to be like, well, I'm going to stop so that way this could stop, and then I'll come back, and then you lose half your followers, or not half your followers, but you lose half your viewers, people don't continue watching you, like whatever the fuck the reason may be.
Also, you're getting abuse hurled at you from like thousands upon thousands, like thousands of bots, all like spamming abuse at you.
Exactly. Yeah, this is bullshit. Actual bullshit, because it's something that they should have actually been on top of for a long time, and they're just like, Nick, oh, now that they're using N-words and sexual slurs and a bunch of stuff, we got to get on top of this now. It's just like, this is something you should have been concentrating on anyways.
The thing is it will, like, the day off Twitch thing won't do anything to him. That's going to be facts. I'm not going to lie.
No, it won't, and here's why, because I am. Sorry, Moody. You've hit my trigger point, because I was reading some stuff the other day. Like, I've seen like these big time streamers who have just turned around and said, "No, I'm not going to participate in this." Why? Because according to one big time streamer, who's I'm not going to name, and I'm talking like big time streamers, like top streamers on the platform, like people will get annoyed. Which people? You mean your fan base? Oh, you mean your fan base will get annoyed if you try to do something about racism on Twitch? Maybe that says something about you and the type of fans you attract. Because he's talking about like, well, when we do it, like people just get annoyed. Mate, I had never heard of you until this popped up in my Twitter. But I have seen a lot of my friends suffer from this. So maybe I've made the right choices in who I've decided to follow on Twitch. Because you seem like a piece of shit. Sorry, Mooney. Go on.
No, that's fine.
I'm gonna have to ask who this is after the podcast.
I will.
Yeah. The day off Twitch, like I said, it's not going to do much. It's not going to touch the needle for Twitch whatsoever. Twitch have known they needed to do something like this earlier. Will they actually do something? I don't know. I don't know if they can, like. We can report them. We can say, yo, Twitch have just been raided, all on this and everything. But will they actually do anything? That's the honest truth. I don't think they will. You say all the things like Fox is saying. People have been saying the N-words on this, showing bots, transphobic, homophobic, the whole shebang, racism and everything on this site, and Twitch does nothing. It does nothing. I don't know what you can do about it. Like, I suggested something for the Twitter thing a while back, and I know like both me and Amy are very different on that. I know my thing has a lot of hurdles that it needs to go through to make sure it does this type of thing. But I would suggest the same thing for Twitch and everything. But I don't know. Like, will they do it? Will they do anything? I honestly don't know. I really don't know, and I hate to say that because I hate saying it because at the end of the day, it's just like we know they're not going to do anything.
Unfortunately,
they say they're going to do anything, but they're not going to do anything. They are a $1 billion company, or owned by a $1 billion company, or $1 trillion company, should I say? And they're not going to do anything. They've got all the backing in the world, and they will not do anything. I don't think. I pray to God that I'm proven wrong here. Really do.
You won't be, because unfortunately, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, these companies know they make too much money off allowing, in this instance, racists on their platform. It's that simple. They make too much money off of them. If they got rid of all of the racists and all of the fascists and all of the bigots off of their platform, which I'm sure they could do very, very quickly and very easily, they'd lose so much money. It would be ridiculous, because all of a sudden those people wouldn't be engaging with the platform and spending money on their platform, and a lot of their top streamers would probably suddenly disappear and go, how did that happen? Like, there's too much money in it for them to allow bigots and fascists and racists to continue using their platform. It's that simple. And that sucks. That sucks.
Their view bots.
Yeah, that sucks. And I hate having to say that out loud, but you know what? We dance around it enough, like when we talk about stuff like this. I'm just going to say it out loud. They will continue to allow these people on their platforms because they don't want to lose the money that they bring in.
Yep.
Fuck.
We really don't have time anymore, but I put this one in here for you. Where is it?
You don't have to do it.
No, we're going to do it. You want to do it? We're doing it. Ooh, it's quite long.
Which one?
We'll do it next week. How's that sound? Is that a deal?
No way. It's not that important, man.
No, but
it's really not that important.
I know it's not, but we're going to do it next week.
Because I didn't expect it to go this long, so
we did have a 20-minute argument about State of Decay and Titanfall.
That's true. Don't worry about
arguing?
it.
I wasn't arguing. I was just...
I'm gonna fucking kill you. Now, it's time. We'll do a few of these. We've got a lot of news stories we didn't get to cover because we were talking about video games, but we will cover a bunch of them next week.
Hopefully.
As long as the industry, calms the fuck down.
Yeah, that'll never happen.
Relatively. Okay, it's time for games out next week, Mooney.
Wii, PC, PlayStation, Xbox, Switch is a cute cooperative postal puzzler starring Jeff and Deborah, two small Kiwi birds working in a whimsical post office. They must jump, flap, peck, and butt slam their way across an interactive landscape of levels, bells, and buttons to get those messages delivered on time. Rustler, PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch become a medieval thug in a crazy open-world action game full of pop culture references, complete insane quests, kill heroes, steal horses, fight guards, rob peasants, listen to some bard music, and much, much more, all packed in old-school gameplay style. The Big Con, PC and Xbox, not Game Pass. Boo. Boo. Hustle your way across 90s America as a runaway teen con artist. Choose how to make your... Let me try that again. Choose how to make your sketch as you don disguises, pick pockets, and rip people off in this comedic, crime-filled adventure. Experience a total rad 90s in all its played and payphone glory. Monster Harvest.
Hang on, I feel attacked. I still wear plaid.
Sorry.
How dare you, Big Con?
Monster Harvest, PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch, is a monster collecting and farming action RPG with a twist. Grow, collect, and mutate your crops then take them into battle, filled with places to discover and multiple ways to battle your farm. Get ready to craft, explore, and battle across the vibrant world of Palimala Point. I think. I don't know. It basically sounds like a big old Pokemon ripoff, but either way.
It's coming out on September 1st.
The most important game coming out next week. Rico London. PC.
That's what this entire podcast has just been for, isn't it?
Lake, PC, and Xbox. Not coming to Game Pass. Boo. It's 1986, a really good year. Aliens was the best film that year, and I was born. Meredith Weiss takes a break from her career in the big city to deliver mail in her hometown. How will she experience 2 weeks in beautiful Providence Oaks with its iconic lake and quirky community? And what will she get up to next? It's up to you. Rico London, PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch, is a gang-busting, name-taking, explosive co-op shooter. Battle your way up the high-rise tower stacked with East End gangsters solo and with a partner. Crash through doors, dodge bullets, and turn the weapons of the fallen into your personal arsenal. Do whatever it takes to reach the top.
I need to play the first one.
I played the first one. It's okay.
Is it good?
It's okay.
Didn't realize this was a sequel. WRC10, PC, PlayStation, and Xbox, hailed by reviewers and professional drivers. The standard setting off-road racing simulator has been reinvented, reached the 2021 season podium, and to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the competition, relive the highlights at the wheel of legendary cars. And the final game. Can you say this for me, the first one, Amy?
Kitaria Fables.
Kitaria Fables, PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. Action adventure fused with RPG and farming elements. That's a lot of farming games that I've talked about today. It's armed with sword, bow, and spell books. That sounds like Wildermouth. Fight against a rising darkness threatening the world. Plunder in dungeons in search of relics and resources. Tend to your farm to make provisions and portions and take the quest solo or with a friend. I know I saw your head, but I'm just shaking. I just meant for the sword, bow, and spellbook thing.
That's fair.
So,
yeah, no, very different.
I blame Stardew Valley for basically
everything that's happened.
Putting out the slew of nothing but like farming-ish games with like a bunch of other stuff attached to it. Like I blame
basically, Stardew Valley and The Binding of Isaac have been responsible for the majority of the indie games of the last decade. Essentially. Not that I'm complaining. Those games are fucking great.
I has coffee.
I was wondering what you were drinking. I was trying, for some reason I was trying to like look over the thing. Like this is a 3D image.
I has coffee.
It's time for, I'm assuming it's time for OpenCritic Head-to-Head.
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, okay, cool. Because usually you do it's time for OpenCritic Head-to-Head. And I'm like, it is time for OpenCritic Head-to-Head. But I'm assuming,
it's time for OpenCritic Head-to-Head and Amy won.
Thank you, Foxes. Yes, OpenCritic Head-to-Head. This is the game we play every single week where we try to guess the OpenCritic average of one upcoming game. Whoever gets closest to the score gets 1 point. If you manage to guess the score correctly, you get 2 points. Last week, we tried to guess the OpenCritic average of Psychonauts 2. I guessed it would get an 88. Moody guessed it would get an 80. Foxes guessed it would get an 85. And at the time of recording, Psychonauts 2 has an OpenCritic average of 88. Congratulations to Psychonauts 2 and also me.
Fuck, I'm gonna stay at the bottom still. Sorry.
Well, you were a late bloomer for this one, so...
Yeah, next year is when you really get your time to shine. Just think of this as practice.
I can't wait to lose the next year. Thank you, Ollie.
Don't worry, Fox. I'm just letting Amy get ahead, and then I'm going to come back and just keep my title.
Like in Fantasy Critic last year, when you let me get ahead, and then let me get further ahead. So that puts the current scores at Amy 17, Moody 12, Fox is 6, Keith 10 with 2 draws. I'll go through the full list of games eventually, but not today. This week, we're guessing the OpenCritic average for Lake. My most anticipated game of the rest of 2021. Moody, what do you think Lake is going to have an OpenCritic average this time next week?
I honestly haven't got a flip.
See, the thing about Moody is he's seen all this, he's seen trailers and he's seen stuff, but he's had me in his head for like 6 months being like, oh my God, I'm so excited for this game.
I honestly haven't got a bloody clue.
What is your
going
heart
off from
say?
like not only just the hype what you give it, but other people who I've listened to and everything who are very excited and what they've played of so far seems incredible to them. It feels like in the 80s range. But this is also an indie game. And OpenCritic isn't favorable when it comes to indie games, but could it be something kind of like what it was for the where is it? I need to get OpenCritic up. Was it could it be something like freaking Overboard or Death's Door or Chicory and everything? Could we get some high scores for these games and everything? 88. I'm going 88.
What? Where could you have possibly gotten that number from?
I'm stealing it from Amy.
You trust me, you are not stealing my number. Foxes, what do you think the OpenCritic average for Lake will be this time next week?
42. No, I'm just kidding. 92.
Okay, okay. Shit.
Wait, did I really pick your number?
Why'd you go higher? You're a lunatic.
I honestly did it because I have no fucking clue, but I didn't think you'd actually go 92.
Of course I was. I had a whole spiel prepared.
You were going to go 92?
Yeah.
Damn.
I'll tell you why.
Wow, I'm actually really happy that I just stole that from you just because of my nonsensical bullshit.
Well,
you have a reason.
I mean, listen to the reason before you say that. So, like, I don't know how OpenCritic, the critics of OpenCritic, will react to Lake. So what I've based my guess on, and now my second guess on, is how I feel about Lake. Right? Like, I've played like an hour and a half of this game, right? Like, I've seen the trailers, I've seen the fucking other trailers, I've seen the gameplay. Like, I've read about it. I've tweeted backwards and forwards with the Twitter account. Like, my level of hype for this game has been through the roof for very fucking ages. So I decided to throw out thinking, right? The brain is not involved in this decision. I just listened to my heart and I said, Amy, based on everything you know about this game right now, what score would you give it? And when I realized that would be 100 and that would be ridiculous, I was like, okay, but like let's move that down a little bit, all right? let's step back from 10 out of 10. And then I was going to be like, good, it's a 92. But I'm just going to spite Foxes and say it's going to be a 91.
So my reasoning is, like, my short story reasoning is because I don't give a shit about this game, and most games I don't give a shit about, they usually do really well.
Well, I'm getting some points next week. Hallelujah for me.
No, Foxes is probably going to get 2.
Look, I'm so on 92 in it. It really is.
I hope so.
If I win this just because of, like, fuck it, that's how I'm gonna do all my scores from now on. I'm just gonna say fuck it and then just go to the first number that comes in the top of my head. That was literally why I picked 92. It's just because of the first one that I thought of. I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Whatever.
What if it's 42 next week instead?
Don't even. Do you know? You won't. I will be off. I won't be on this podcast.
Well,
if it's 42
oh my god!
next
Could
week.
you please change it to 42 if it is?
If Lake is bad, like, because 42 isn't. Oh, some reviewers didn't like it. 42 is this game is just bad. If Lake is bad,
No, 42 is bad if it's that number.
If Lake is a bad game, like, I will be uncontactable. You won't be able to reach me. I will be sitting in front of the game on that bed on the TV in a fugue state.
And then in the last, like, you know, underneath your breath, just, you know, as the sigh of just depression comes over you, like, fuck you, foxes.
Yeah, probably. Okay,
both for State of Decay 2 and for the
it's time to wrap up. It's time to wrap up this podcast episode. That's why my camera's
This was
gone
an
out.
episode. This was an episode.
This was an episode. Now, you know, I wonder who I'm going to give the last word of the podcast to. Should I give it to Moody? Should I give it to Foxes?
I can
I mean, should I give it to should I give it to Moody and his nice thing? Because I'm sure he's going to do another positivity thing. Or should I give it to myself just to get the last word on the podcast? After what I'm going to say has been an emotional beating.
So before you give the last words, because I have a feeling you're going to choose yourself, I meant no disrespect. I meant all love, and I meant nothing but jokes and good-heartedness, and you know that.
After my heart was savaged.
I'll kiss it and make it up better, and you know I will.
Yeah, all right. Moody, what's the last word?
Even the smallest of thoughts have the potential to become the biggest of successes. All you have to do is get up and get going, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else. Kick butt and have an awesome weekend.
State of Decay 2 was good, actually.